Welcome to Unfolding Self, a space where we explore, heal, and grow together every day. Today, I want to share with you a story, not a fairy tale, nor anything glamorous. It is the journey of a young girl living in the Mekong Delta, carrying a quiet yet powerful heart full of courage. This is the story of Phan Ngoc Cam, a girl who walks through storms every day, striving toward her dream. Morning in Thap Muoi, Dong Thap province. The sun is not yet harsh, but its warmth slowly spreads over the endless rice fields. Somewhere behind a dusty red clay path, hidden among rows of trees, stands a small, humble house with rusted tin roofing. It is the home of Phan Ngoc Cam, a 10th grade student living entirely on her own. There is no mother's voice waking her up, no father's footsteps from the kitchen, no clattering of breakfast bowls, just silence and the quiet rustling of pages as she prepares for school. At 16, while most girls her age are still under the sheltering arms of their parents, Cam lives alone. Her house was once filled with the laughter of 4 sisters and the warm presence of a father who was everything to them. Mother, father, and protector after their mother passed away when Cam was just a baby. He worked tirelessly to raise them, never remarried, and gave his daughters everything he could: food, school, and love. But fate didn't give Cam enough time to repay him. One afternoon, like any other, Cam's father went to the backyard to water the plants. The rain had just stopped, and the ground was still damp. As he stepped forward, he touched a wet patch of earth connected to a faulty electrical wire. No one saw what happened, but moments later, the neighbors found him lying motionless on the ground. The electric current had taken his life instantly. When the call came, Cam's 3 older sisters, studying in universities far from home, rushed back. But it was Cam, the youngest, who had been home alone when it happened. She didn't scream or cry. She simply sat beside him, holding his hand, the one that had tucked her in so many nights before. She touched his skin, already cold, and whispered nothing. The grief was too deep for words. That night, the house fell into a deeper silence than ever before. After the funeral, her sisters returned to school. They wanted to take Cam with them, but she insisted on staying. "I'll take care of the house. The jackfruit trees need me," she said, "and I still have school here." And so, since the age of 15, Cam has lived entirely by herself. She wakes up early, cooks simple meals, waters the jackfruit trees in the garden, and goes to school. After class, she returns to the empty house, changes out of her uniform, and picks up a hoe to tend the garden. At night, under the faint light of a dim bulb, or even a flashlight when the electricity cuts out, she studies. The roof leaks when it rains, the floor gets muddy, and some nights she only has plain rice and vegetables from the garden to eat. But not once does she complain. "Not everyone is born into comfort," she says softly, "but everyone has the right to dream." And dream she does. Cam wants to become a teacher, not only because she loves learning, but also because the education sector in Vietnam exempts students from tuition. She dreams of standing on a platform one day, not as someone asking for help, but as someone who gives it. If there is one place in the world that still holds her father's presence, it is the jackfruit orchard behind the house. Tree after tree stands like silent guardians of her childhood. This one, my father planted. That one, I helped dig the hole for. The orchard is not just fruit and leaves, it's filled with memories. Now Cam tends the trees alone. The first fruits have started to ripen, their golden fragrance filling the air. She harvests them carefully, avoiding bruises or cuts, and sells them at the local market. The small earnings go towards school supplies, and sometimes a little extra is sent to her sisters, sharing the taste of their shared past. "Every time I walk through the orchard," Cam says, "I see my dad, crouching, weeding, and telling me to be careful not to scratch the jackfruits. He's still here, just I can't hear him anymore." No one tells Cam to study. No one reminds her to do her homework or checks her grades. Yet, year after year, she ranks among the top students. Her wall is decorated with certificates and awards. When asked what drives her, she simply says, "I want to study well to change my future, and so that my dad can rest in peace." Even on days when she's exhausted, her stomach empty, she sits at her desk and reads. Every test she passes, every teacher's compliment, brings her a step closer to her dream. Closer to a life her father never had, but always wanted for her. There are nights when Cam wakes up to rainwater dripping on her bed. She silently places buckets under the leaks, wipes the floor, and goes back to sleep without a word. She doesn't cry. She's used to it. There are moments I feel sad, she admits, but I know I have to be strong. My sisters are studying hard too. I can't fall behind. People in the village call her the girl who lives alone, but few know that within her small frame lies unshakable resilience. She doesn't have fancy clothes, a smartphone, or a big support network, but she has persistence and hope. And that, sometimes, is enough to move mountains. In the Mekong Delta, people often say, jackfruit trees survive anything. No matter how dry the soil, they'll grow back. Cam is like those trees. No matter how harsh life gets, she takes root, she grows, she bears fruit. Her father once said, I have no property to give you girls, only this land and these trees. But if you study hard, education will be your true inheritance. Cam remembers those words like gospel. She walks the orchard after rain and whispers, I'll keep studying. Dad, I'll keep going. Life isn't fair. Some children are born into comfort, with everything prepared for them. Others, like Phan Ngoc Cam, must walk alone through storms, heads held high, hearts burning with quiet determination. She never asked, why me? She simply keeps living, keeps dreaming, and keeps honoring her father with each good grade, each hard-earned jackfruit, and each quiet, solitary day. If you ever feel lost, tired, or ready to give up, think of Cam. Think of the little girl who lives alone in a tin-roof house, who studies under a flashlight, who harvests jackfruit from the trees she and her father planted, and who never stops dreaming. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe to stay with me as we continue to unfold strength, one story at a time,